Welcome to Inside Hilltopper Athletics, brought to you by Day and Night Heating and Cooling. I am Todd Allum. Alongside me, head coach of West Liberty football, Roger Wiley. Coach, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
The Toppers were on their bye week this past week after coming off a huge victory against West Virginia State at home, a 47-41 walk-off victory. Just the feeling of the team, knowing you have a week off and kind of some time to rest and relax. But coming off a big victory like that, how was practice this week?
Oh, it was good. I mean, I don't think there's any time to rest and relax. I mean, we're preparing how we play the game. We did have a scrimmage for the kids that we're planning to redshirt or haven't had a whole lot of playing time, just to see them in some live action, so to say. And so, I thought we had a decent week of practice, giving some guys that were banged up a little time to heal. Obviously, we held them out. But the big thing is just getting better at what we do, and that's why practice was so important.
Going into this, 2 weeks ago, I guess you could say, Antavius Jackson got his first start for the Toppers. Do we expect to see him to get a start again this week against West Virginia Wesleyan?
Yeah, actually going in the game, we had planned to play more than one quarterback just to see if somebody could get us going. And, he deserves the right to start again. He earned it. The big thing that I thought was killing us in the first few games were turnovers and added possessions for the other team. And so, with him not turning the ball over, doing more things with his feet, so to say, not taking any chances, I thought that was really good. He took care of the football and gave us an opportunity to win at the end.
And I heard you say last week kind of all the coaches kind of came together to help out with special teams in the past week or so. Has that gotten how did that go during the bye week? Did things come together a little bit more?
Yeah, we've been working. We had some guys that were injured and so forth. And then, the other thing we got to play, there's been some true freshmen that have been playing on special teams here and there. And, they obviously, to get there next year, they can't play in more than 4 games. And so just mapping those out for their futures, that's kind of what we sat down and did. And, the special teams were divided up 3 weeks ago. So, each coach took a special team, and that's what they're responsible for outside of their other coaching duties that they have.
As we move forward, again, big victory, huge confidence booster against West Virginia State. Did you notice kind of the confidence throughout this bye week with the players?
Our players have been pretty much the same throughout the year. Looking for the ball to bounce our way, but in life you make your own breaks, and you make your own luck at times, and especially in team sports. I don't ever think that anybody was lucky. If they're playing hard, they'll be at the right place at the right time. If they're doing the right things, it'll get them there. So that's what we expect from them, and to play hard and to get to the football and those types of things and make us successful. So I think that the same things we were doing, we're going to continue to do to try to get better at. And that was the one message. I thought we had some pretty good days of practice where they were locked in. They weren't, off in la-la land talking about other games, so forth. They were concerned about being 1-0 after this next week, and, that's good. We got some extra practices in to prepare somebody, because sometimes, you look at it as a coach and with the required day off, and normally we give Mondays off just to Sunday, good or bad, get it out of our system, lift, and then move on. And so then if you look at that, you got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to practice. One of those will obviously be a walkthrough, and so you're looking at only 3 days of on the field practice to get ready for the next game. So with that being said, I thought they were locked in, and they did a good job, especially the guys that we're counting on.
We talked about the bye week and how some of the guys needed to recover for some injuries and whatnot. We don't necessarily need specifics, but are you happy with the way some of these guys recovered?
Yes and no. I mean, we have to get Ratcliffe back. He's still questionable for this week, and he was making progress and suffered another injury to the same leg. And so, those types of things, it takes us out of some double tight sets and so forth. Levi Gallion, we got to get him healthy again, else we're not with any tight ends, and we're going to play extra offensive linemen. We've been teaching. That's the one thing during the off week we can address some depth issues that we had due to injury. So, those types of things will take care of themselves. And what the one thing good about this team is they have the next man up mentality, meaning if you look at the guys that were going to start in the first game versus who was in the second half, it was nowhere close. And so it gave us time because we're a young team, it gave us time, and young's not an excuse. It's just the facts. We are a young team, and it gave some time for guys to mature, and they're playing like vets. And I thought some of them that came in, free safety Donovan Elliott, I thought had a really good game. Coming up in a run support and breaking up a big pass on one of their drives. And so, those things are going to continue to happen with our freshmen that are coming in that play. You look in the offensive side in the second half, Talvo didn't play one snap. And true freshman McBride came in and had a really good game. And the way I judge the offense, if I don't notice them, they got to be doing something. When I notice them, that means somebody's running by them or they're standing around looking. And so, and we scored the most points we have in the half. And so, and that's tribute to a lot of things, but most of all, them playing as a team.
Well, Coach, you've got West Virginia Wesleyan come up. The Toppers travel down to Buckhannon, West Virginia, coming up October 18th. West Virginia Wesleyan's a team that's looking for their first victory of the year, looking for something positive for themselves. What can we expect to see from the Bobcats in terms of scheme?
Well, schematically, offensively, they are still going to commit to the run, but they're going to take some shots down the field, most of their touchdowns. And I think other than the last game, even against Frostburg, they went right down the field, scored on the first drive. Same thing with State. And so they've had leads, I think, in almost every game they had except last week versus Fairmont. And so they do have skill offensively. Last week they played a different quarterback than they have. They're both quarterbacks are run threats. They run some option, they run some zone read, and they will scramble and get out. Defensively, they play a lot of different guys. Schematically, they got some bigger nose guards. They want to stuff the middle, but in pass situations, they'll bring in some pass rushers. And so, when we're facing their defense, it's about us executing and, getting the ball in our playmakers' hands. Hunter Patterson, hopefully Trey comes back. Obviously, you can see Marquez Hurst or Osama Hurst when he has a chance. And there's other guys we haven't seen yet that I think they will make plays given the opportunity. So, and, offensively, it always comes down to up front. Can you give the quarterback time? Can you give, a crease for the running backs to hit? And so, their defensive coordinator is probably I've coached against longer than anybody else. He had been the defensive coordinator at Wesleyan before. This goes back when I was an offensive coordinator. And so there's going to be some familiarity with when we're on the field offensively, because Coach Price has coached at Concord, West Virginia Tech when they had football, West Virginia State, Wesleyan on a few stints, head coach at Concord. So, the familiarity's there. I think he knows how we're going to attack them, and we're going to try to run the ball first and try to get some pass game and get the quarterback going a little bit. So, we can't be one-dimensional, and I think that proved the other day is we weren't one-dimensional. We were able to throw the ball. We were able to run the ball. The quarterback got out of the pocket and put some pressure on the defense, and so that has to continue to happen for us to be successful.
Well, Coach, good luck down at Wesleyan. One of my favorite memories of calling a game down there was, I think, the year before COVID. It was Zach Phillips hit Robinson late in that game to get a touchdown pass and win the game down at West Virginia Wesleyan. Hopefully something similar happens for the Toppers on this trip. Again, folks, October 18th, this coming Saturday, the Toppers travel to Buckhannon to take on West Virginia Wesleyan. After that, on October 25th, the Toppers will host Glenville State here at West Family Stadium for homecoming. So be aware of that in 2 weeks. Coach, thank you for being here with us. Be safe and good luck on your travels to Buchanan.
Thank you.
Stick around, folks. We will be right back for more Inside Hilltopper Athletics.
From the long-lasting and reliable heating and cooling systems we send out the door, to the friendly and knowledgeable dealers who go the extra mile. With a no-hassle replacement limited warranty, you can trust day and night to deliver outstanding service and performance, keeping you a step ahead with advanced technology and exceptional comfort. To find a day and night dealer, visit dayandnightcomfort.com.
Welcome back to Inside Hilltopper Athletics, brought to you by Day and Night Heating and Cooling. Again, I am Todd Allum for this segment. We've got head coach of men's and women's cross country, Michael Gwynn. Coach, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
You've got some big things coming up in the future for cross country and the Mountain East Conference championships. But before that, a little tune-up. The Toppers would go to the Carnegie Mellon Invitational this past Saturday. On the men's side, Francis Toohey had a 23rd place finished in 25:42. It's an 8-kilometer course again. Had Jasper Brown behind him in 27th, and then Robert Allen in 39th. Not a bad day for the men's team.
No, it was, this is a pretty big race, right? So, there was like 21 teams in the men's race, 23 teams in the women's race. Pretty competitive field, right? Carnegie Mellon, they're a top level national team in Division III. We had Slippery Rock there, West Virginia Wesleyan in our conference. Point Park, Glenville. There's a lot of conference schools there, but then also a lot of the PSAC schools that we'll see at regionals were there as well. So it was a good field for us to get there and test the waters a little bit. Still holding out. Our top freshman runner Josh Gill right now. Just pretty close to being back. He's running quite a bit. Just trying to be cautious, getting a little bit more time before we test everything out. But hopefully we'll have him back for these 2 championship races, and he'll be ready to rock and roll. So, but on the guys' side, those guys, those top 3 seniors, they're always firing off really good. Still that sickness bug got us a little bit again last week. We've had several that were still down with the illnesses that are going around. As you can probably hear, I kind of have it right now myself. But it was a good tune-up for us. We saw some things that we need to improve on, and saw some things where we know that if we can really put it together, we can make a big push to do something special here in these next 2 races.
I know we've talked before about weather and course conditions and things of that nature. I was going to wonder about this for all the athletes of all the sports here. I know I'm getting older, but with the weather changing right now from hot to cold, going back and forth, even my sinuses were bothering me for the past couple of weeks. I wondered how bad it would be for some of these athletes. Luckily for the Toppers, things seem to be going somewhat well, even though some illnesses are just not feeling great because of the weather.
It just seems like we keep getting, it seems like we're getting better for a couple of days, and then they'll get hit with the same thing again, or just, we're kind of relapsing back into it. So hopefully they got some good rest this weekend. We got fall break coming up, so they'll be able to kind of get home, get some of that mom and dad's cooking in them, and get a little bit of rest and get ready for this next big push in the conference.
And on the women's side, same place. The Toppers also went up to the Carnegie Mellon Invitational, finished 12th overall in a pretty, as you said, a really deep field for the women's side.
Yeah, on the women's side, that field's probably even deeper. Some top 5 ranked teams in our region were there. And then Carnegie Mellon's, our women's team's just phenomenal. So we were able to go up there. Big thing for us. Our 1-to-5 split for our women was 40 seconds, which just nice tight pack running together. A lot of those girls had lifetime PRs for 5K, which was exciting. There's some good pictures going around social media. They're finishing, laying on the ground, hugging each other. So when they're having fun and happy like that, then I'm happy. And I think 4 of the top 5 are all freshmen right now. Lacey's a junior, so she'll come back for another season. Rounding out our top 10, we have quite a few more freshmen in there as well. Allie was number 6 for us, but she's interchangeable every race. Some races she's in the top. She might be in the top, maybe 3, 4, 5, and some races she's 6. So she just they just keep plugging along, and they're all running really close together. So As long as they keep packing it up like that, and then we just keep bringing the times down, that's all we can do right now. I think we'll be a really dangerous team here in the next couple of years if we keep progressing the way they are right now.
Well, we got the Mountain East Conference championships coming up at Ogilvie on the October 25th. How does this course compare to some of the courses you've run recently?
So no, not really. The Ogilvie course is I like to call it kind of a billy goat course. It's a little bit more challenging of a course. It's got some elevation gain to it. A lot of side running, so you're kind of running on the side of hills in some areas. So you're kind of hard on your ankles and different things. So you got to, some of our freshmen have never seen this course before. It's not like we can just go down and get on it either because it's a golf course. So it's, we'd have to go down with headlamps or something and try to sneak one if we wanted to do that. But that would be frowned upon as well. So, it's just kind of getting there that day before, getting them to go out and experience what it's like. Some of our upperclassmen have been trying to tell them what it's like and give them some experience on it. But, we just got to, we prepared for a hilly course this season. We've done some good hill workouts and things like that, and hopefully it pays off when we get out there and race.
Yeah, for the men's side, for this Mountain East Conference Championship, you've got a group of seniors or veterans that have been there, done that, and looking for another good outing. On the women's side, as you said earlier, a bunch of young runners.
Yeah.
And for 4 out of the 5 top runners for the women's, this is going to be their first time on that course. What have you done to try to help prepare, at least in terms of practice, and tell them how to make sure that they're ready for those kind of inclines and things of that nature on the course?
We try to prepare throughout the year. We went to some courses this year. The home course over there at Bethany. It's got some hills on it, so they've gotten some races where they had to climb some hills and things like that. The last 2 races are pretty flat. Trying to get them, show them that they are fit, show them that they're ready to run some fast times. Now this race is coming up. Now it's not really about time; it's about place and trying to beat other people to the best for our team, so we can get the highest teams or get the best team score possible out there.
Oh, this campus alone, just the campus itself, just run around here for a little bit, all kinds of hills.
Well, that helps us as well. Our athletes go on a run around campus or off campus. They go over on Gertie's Run Road, and then they'll go out. They'll run around towards the airport. That's got some pretty good climbs in it. They'll go back on Grimes Run Road. You have to climb up there by the Family Dollar to get off to that side road. And that got some massive climbs in it. They got one run called the Sasquatch Run they do that's got some pretty good climbs in it. So they're not running hills is nothing new to them. So they're getting better at it.
Well, as this year has gone on, another MEC championships are coming up. I'd assume you're happy with how both of these teams have developed, but has there been any surprises or good surprises with either one of these teams?
We're always looking. We had a surprises with one of our freshman boys. He's been figuring it out a little bit each race, but he had a breakthrough race. He really got out there and he's climbing towards our top 5. If he keeps progressing, it's kind of his motto. He comes into. He told me, he's a coach, I've never really ran as much as I ran this summer as you made me run this summer. And it took us taking his body a while to figure it out, but he's really starting to fire right now. So if he continues to improve like that, and I think he's going to do pretty well on the hills as well. So, he could be a game changer for us in a race where that matters.
Well, Coach, thank you for taking time out of your day to be with us again. Good luck in the Mountain East Conference Championships. Again, folks at home, that's October 25th. The men's side, we've got a very veteran-laden team ready to go in the Mountain East Conference Championships. On the women's side, we've got a bunch of hungry youngsters that are ready to run and are getting better with each and every race. Again, Coach, thank you for being here.
Thanks so much.
We'll see you next week, folks. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for more Inside Hilltopper Athletics.
From humble beginnings in 1837, West Liberty University has been home to thousands of students. Whether you're a recent high school graduate or looking to complete a college degree later in life, starting your educational career at West Liberty University will be the catalyst for your future. This is a place where you will discover who you are and where you belong, surrounded by lifelong friends and a supportive faculty and staff. Start your journey home at westliberty.edu.
Welcome back to Inside Hilltopper Athletics, brought to you by Day and Night Heating and Cooling. I'm Todd Allum, along with me for this segment, head coach of women's soccer here at West Liberty University, Pete McMenemy. Coach, welcome back to the show.
Yep, thanks for having me, Todd. Appreciate it.
Had 2 games this past week. The first one versus Glenville State here at West Liberty University. A tough one for the Toppers in this one, a 4-1 decision for Glenville State, but the Toppers able to get one on the board. Your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I thought we played a lot better in that game. Thought we were much more organised defensively, and we created a lot of opportunities actually in the match too. They get one, I think, just before half-time, which was really disappointing because I thought we played really well in the first half and we earned. We thought we earned the opportunity to go in level at the break, which would have gave us a little bit of confidence. And in the second half, we had some opportunities to maybe tie it up at 2-2, and they scored. To be fair to Glenville, they scored a great free kick from outside the box that I don't think you could add 2 goalies in goal. They saved that. So they put it right in the top corner, and then you have to take a little bit of gamble and risk to try and get back into the game, and we kind of get caught on a breakaway, and they kind of round the game off. But it was a much better performance, and we can feel good about that.
Yeah, Butera had 9 saves on 15 shots, not too shabby for her. The Toppers would then move on to travel down to West Virginia State. This one a little closer at Dickerson Stadium. It would be West Virginia State getting the victory, but 3-2 in this one. Seems like a little bit of a heartbreaker for the Toppers.
Yeah, we worked really, really hard, and the ladies did the basics of the game really, really well. We knew that obviously they're the top team in the league, the top team in the conference, and have been for the last season or two. So we knew it was going to be a tough ask to go there. But there aren't many teams that go there and even get on the score sheet against them. So to get 2 goals against them, we were happy. We were happy with that, and I felt the kind of the feeling after the game was that we were a little bit disappointed to concede 3 goals of our own, because I think we did defend pretty well in the match as a whole. So there was encouraging signs from Sunday, and like I said, I thought it's not like we just defended the whole game and we got 2 lucky goals. We did defend well, but we created some opportunities of our own. So again, that's credit to the team and how they performed.
And Maya Taggart got both of the goals for the Toppers in this one against West Virginia State. Talk about her performance and the effort she put in to get those.
Yeah, Maya is a tireless worker for the team. She always puts herself, she always puts the team before herself. And I think that it was really pleasing for her, to get 2 goals and get on the score sheet. The first one is really, really top drawer finish. It's not an easy skill at all when to lob it over the goalkeeper and make sure that it doesn't go too high or it has enough pace on it. So the first goal was a really, really wonderful finish. And the second one is really, it's typical Maya and how she's played the last 4 years. Just relentless. She creates an opportunity for herself out of absolutely nothing, and has a good finish on it. So we're really happy for her. And we hope that we can continue to score some more goals here in the future.
Maya was able to get 2 goals on her 3 shots in this game. Butera 8 saves. Again, a great job for the Toppers in this one. Just came up a little short on the scoreboard. Looking ahead, you got Davis and Elkins tomorrow here at West Family Athletic Complex. That's Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. So get up here and make sure you support the Lady Toppers. What can we expect to see from D&E?
I think they are a very organised team. They're very disciplined. They are probably a little bit similar to us, that they've not maybe had the best results, but I think how they are as a team, their record doesn't necessarily reflect how they are as a team. So I think they're much improved from years gone by, and it'll be a tough game for us, but we're looking forward to it. We're at home. We've had a couple of good performances, and I think we should be ready to go put on a strong performance on Wednesday.
Now, are you happy with the way some of the young players on this team have progressed up to this point? We're getting, I guess you could say, kind of towards the end of the regular season-ish. Has the team with the younger players kind of hit a dog day at any point in time?
I don't necessarily think so. I think they've tried to. I think for a lot of the younger players, they've probably some of them have probably played a lot more than what they expected to. But that's just like, they've earned the opportunities to do that. But I think some of them are maybe coming to terms with just the reality of how tough college soccer is at this level. It's not club, it's not high school. The mistakes or errors that you may have gotten away with at that level, you get punished at this level. So whether you're offensive or a defensive player, it's really fine margins. And I think a lot of the younger players are recognising that. But they're also recognising the importance of working hard for the team. And I think that's an important thing that can't really be understated. We've talked a lot this past week. In its very, very simple terms, we did the basics of the game really well. So we worked hard for the team, and we were organised, we were disciplined when we needed to be, we moved the ball well, and we created opportunities of our own, and we scored some goals in the process. So I think if the ladies can continue to do that, they give themselves a chance in every game, and that's all you can really ask for, is give yourself and your teammates the best possible chance in any game that you play.
Well, it sounds like this team is building and building. It's going to be fun to watch as the season continues. Again, folks, get up here to West Family Stadium tomorrow. That's Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. West Family Athletic Complex. The Toppers will take on Davis and Elkins. Any final thoughts for this week?
No, just looking forward to the games. Obviously, we have this game on Wednesday night against Dini, and then we travel to Concord on Saturday for a game away down there. So it'll be a lot of time spent on a bus.
Yes, yeah.
So.
I almost said the wrong name. The Mountain Lions of Concord.
Yeah.
I don't want you to jump too far ahead.
Yeah.
I know you got a game before that, but what can we expect to see from Concord?
Yeah, good side. They're always very well coached. Got a good pool of players to pick from, and they always look to strengthen year to year. I think maybe they had one or two results maybe at the early part that maybe wasn't so good for them, but now they're really starting to put a run of form together. So it'll be a tough game for us, but again, one that I don't think we'll shy away from at all.
Oh, it's going to be fun to watch the Toppers tell them, hey, it's our turn to do that. We're going to turn things up. And They're going to take it to them in Athens, West Virginia. Nice little town there. I like it down in southern West Virginia. Thank you for being here with us this week. Good luck. Folks, thank you for sticking with us so far. We've got one more segment coming up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Inside Hilltopper Athletics.
From the long-lasting and reliable heating and cooling systems we send out the door, to the friendly and knowledgeable dealers who go the extra mile. With a no-hassle replacement limited warranty, you can trust day and night to deliver outstanding service and performance, keeping you a step ahead with advanced technology and exceptional comfort. To find a day and night dealer, visit dayandnightcomfort.com.
From humble beginnings in 1837, West Liberty University has been home to thousands of students. Whether you're a recent high school graduate or looking to complete a college degree later in life, starting your educational career at West Liberty University will be the catalyst for your future. This is a place where you will discover who you are and where you belong, surrounded by lifelong friends and a supportive faculty and staff. Start your journey home at westliberty.edu.
Welcome back to Inside Hilltopper Athletics, brought to you by Day and Night Heating and Cooling. For this segment, we've got women's volleyball and head coach Mackenzie Johnson. Coach, welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Had to travel out to Frostburg State. It's an okay drive. Again, some of the hills back and forth. Every once in a while, my ears would pop. It wasn't a trip I made a ton, but a few times towards the beginning of Frostburg being in the conference. Toppers, it was a very close one in this one. Back and forth, it would end up being a 3-1 victory for Frostburg State, but 25-21, 28-30, 25-19, and 25-22. That seems like an extremely hard-fought match. What was your take throughout this one?
Yeah, I think definitely we struggled offensively, to find the floor a little bit. Kind of looking at the box score after all things were said and done is, we made a lot of hitting errors on that third contact, and, they kind of outblocked us, especially going into that third and fourth set. So, I think our first set, we had 12 kills, 12 errors. And, when we're hitting zeros and giving them, half the points they need to win a set, it's really kind of hard when we're competing against the other team, but then ourselves as well.
This seemed like it was one of those kind of games where, whether it was the other team or self-imposed issues, there was still that fight to come back. Like, nobody was quitting. We're going to come back and get this one. Did you kind of get that feel after the game from the team?
Yeah, I think definitely like seeing them fight and like seeing them obviously like not get up when we're down in sets and things get a little bit tougher, especially in that second set coming out on top by 2 points. But, the fight was there. It's just the execution wasn't. And I think that all goes back, to practices and how, we execute in practices. And, I really encourage them, not taking days off, not taking reps off. But, sometimes that I think can get lost in translation. But at the end of the day, they fight hard, and whoever's thrown in is ready to play and ready to show up and do what we got to do to maybe get a win.
And how has practice been since that game leading up to today?
I think there's been a lot more focus in our gym. That's something I struggle with, like finding like a line between holding them accountable versus doing some outlandish stuff. Like I don't really like to use running as a punishment and stuff like that just to get them to compete. That internal competition and just wanting to win. But we've we've switched things up and given them kind of like time caps on certain drills to really enforce that execution. In a shorter period of time. I think in our drills we usually do we have to get 25 of something or maybe 20 of something, 10 of something, and there's no time limit, so there's really no sense of urgency. So we've tried as a staff to do more things that are a higher sense of urgency in practices, whether it's drills, whether it's 6-on-6. So I'm hoping to see that kind of pay off tonight versus Wheeling.
Yeah, that's what was going to be my again. You're getting good at these shows, Coach. You took it the words right out of my mouth. Tonight, it's Tuesday, the day that we're filming, so 7 p.m. tonight inside the ASRC. If you're watching this today, the day that it's filmed, please get up here. Huge matchup tonight against Wheeling. I kind of got a feeling that some of that intensity and urgency in practice was probably because Wheeling was coming up. Yeah,
and I think, too, with MEC play and being in conference, there really is no time to dwell on losses because we got to prepare for our next opponent. So I think the biggest thing is, trying to get them to learn from losses and not let it roll over into the next game, and saying it can be a bad performance, but it doesn't mean that we're a bad team.
Well, Wheeling, again, there's just so much history between these two teams. The past feels like decade, just back and forth. Has there been any extra talk, or is it just business as usual leading into this one?
I think for us it's just business as usual. I think one thing going into this season, and kind of trying to implement it last season, is treating every opponent the same and not putting anybody on a pedestal. And I know that's really hard with opponents like Wheeling who have such a dynasty that they do, and Christy Benner and Matt Benner do a great job coaching those girls and recruiting girls to come in and compete for them. But at the end of the day, they're just Division II volleyball players like we are, and they're no special. They're no more special than we are, and we can do the same things and compete with them. And it's really just goes back to believing in and trusting in the people that we have on our side of the net.
And it's a big week for the Toppers too. Not only this Tuesday night or tonight against Wheeling, but this weekend as well. You got a couple games coming up. 3-game week, I believe. This late into the season, how normal is that, or having that many games in 1 week?
I think for us, it's pretty normal, especially because in the first half of the season we were playing 5 matches a week. So to go from playing 5 to 3, it's kind of a breath of fresh air where we're not having to go back to back and playing 2 matches in one day. So the girls love that their families and their friends can come into town and watch them. This weekend is also our Dig Pink weekend to bring, awareness to breast cancer. So they are excited to wear their pink shirts and the pink ribbons and just spend time with family and, before or after matches and things like that. But we love hosting at home. We love playing at home. So being able to play at home 3 times in 1 week is pretty special this late in the season.
And the Dig Pink, any other information about that we can give people out there to kind of help out or bring more awareness?
Yeah, so basically what, a lot of volleyball teams do, it's called the Dig for the Cure. They do it in high schools, they do it at the college level, but it's just basically a pink out month. So you'll see a lot of liberos in pink jerseys, or you'll see teams warming up in pink shirts. And that's really to just help bring awareness to breast cancer research and things of that nature. So, we always, there's a few girls in our program who have, been affected by breast cancer, whether it's survivors, whether it's people who may have, lost the fight, but we try to honor those and play for those, that weekend, that match. So, we got pink shirts, pink ribbons, all the whole nine, but it's really just to bring awareness and, spread awareness and help with cancer research in that manner.
And it's been nice to see, I've even seen this month a few high school football teams doing that, whether it be shoes, gloves. You see a few high school teams with little accessories here and there do it. I wish the NFL did it like they used to.
I know, right? Yeah.
Went to a game this weekend. Nobody had the pink towels, gloves, shoes. It used to be like that every year.
Everywhere, yeah.
Like.
And I too, especially with, the awareness of mental health coming in, with recent years, and October is also Mental Health Awareness Month. So a lot of teams will do especially with the hidden opponent. I think Fairmont is partnered up with them, so they'll do green out games because that's the color for mental health awareness. So.
Coach, I appreciate you taking time with us. Good luck against Wheeling.
Thank you.
It's going to be a big one. Folks, be sure to get up here to the ASRC tonight, Tuesday, 7 p.m. is when first serve will be. Coach, any last words or any final words before the game against Wheeling?
Go Toppers.
Well, thank you for being here. We'll see you again next week. Good luck. Folks, stick around. We've got more Inside Hilltopper Athletics coming up next.
From humble beginnings in 1837, West Liberty University has been home to thousands of students. Whether you're a recent high school graduate or looking to complete a college degree later in life, starting your educational career at West Liberty University will be the catalyst for your future. This is a place where you will discover who you are and where you belong, surrounded by lifelong friends and a supportive faculty and staff. Start your journey home at westliberty.edu.
Welcome back to Inside Hilltopper Athletics, brought to you by Day and Night Heating and Cooling. I am Todd Allum. For this final segment, we've got our men's assistant coach men's soccer assistant coach, Zach Rycroft. Zach, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to have to give Coach Regan some trouble here for not being here today. He takes it all in good fun. We'll have some fun with Coach Regan. Be careful what we say off camera about Coach Regan. I mean, had a few. Okay, yeah. Coach Rycroft, a former West Liberty player, a former captain here, played all 5 years of your eligibility here at West Liberty. Just first off, what was it like to go from player and captain of the team to one of the coaches?
It was definitely an interesting transition. It was definitely an experience trying to coach guys that I played with as well. That was probably the most difficult thing. I didn't really have any issues with that, thankfully. I think the guys were very receptive to me coming on as a coach. But they always say that that's the hardest thing, to coach guys that you played alongside. Because a lot of those guys were better individual players than me. So a lot of people can fall into that mindset of, he wasn't as good of a player as me, he must not know what he's talking about. So that can pop up. But it's been really, really good experience for me. I'm coming on as a coach. I always knew that I wanted to coach after I finished playing. I actually had messages that I found in my WhatsApp with Sean from before I even came to America, like 6 years ago. And I was asking him, how do I be a college coach after I'm done playing? So it's always something that I've wanted to do, but I've loved every minute of it so far. Yeah.
Well, it's not shocking to me knowing that you were a team captain to being a coach, getting that respect right away. It's not too shocking to me. We'll get back to recent times, talk about the last game at Point Park, again at Highmark Stadium in Pittsburgh, PA, a 2-1 decision. This one kind of a heartbreaker. It feels like their goaltender had a decent game but made a lot of timely saves to help seal the victory for Point Park.
Yeah, I mean, we dominated the game in terms of possession, and we outshot them by a fair margin. I think we ended up with 20 shots on the board, and we dominated possession, and we were by far the better team on the day. I think even they would agree that. A mistake for the first goal that we conceded, and then an unlucky penalty kick that we conceded for the second goal. And then with 30 seconds left in the game, their keeper saved a penalty that would have tied the game up for us. Their keeper did have a very good display, making that save, keeping those 3 points for them. Just unfortunate. On another day, I think we would have won, but we definitely need to work on converting our chances. That's something that we've been working on in practice a lot, making sure that all of that possession counts for something.
With a tough loss like this one, what was the mindset of the team after the game, maybe on the ride home, and even in practices since that game?
It's been a mindset very much of motivation. Everyone knows that we were the better team. Nobody came away from it sort of heads down. Everyone knew that it was a good performance regardless of the result. So, like I said, the main theme in practice has been really trying to make that possession count and convert those chances. So, the good performance behind what might seem like a bad result has really like spurred us on to keep going, and it's motivated us, if anything.
Well, moving on to the next game, the Toppers will take on, we're filming this on Tuesday, so tomorrow night, Wednesday at 5 p.m., the Toppers will host Davis and Elkins at West Family Athletic Complex. What can we expect to see from D&E this time around?
It'll be a tough game. I won't lie. They're a good team. I think they've conceded 5 goals all year. 2 of those were against us in the away tie when we tied up 2 apiece at their place. And I think they're 8-1 in the conference. I think so. They're definitely a top 3 side in the conference. In my opinion, I think they're number 2, right behind Charleston. So not an easy game at all. But we saw that in the first game that we played that there are goals there for us. We scored 2 goals within inside a minute in the last minute of the first half at their place. So they do have cracks in them. So I think that it's very possible for us to go out and get a win, but it's very important that we prepare the right way, have a very good practice this evening, so that we can go and effectively exploit those cracks that they have. Yeah.
Are you happy with the team's mentality, knowing that the last game against Point Park didn't quite go the way you wanted it to, even though it was a great effort, knowing that you tied this very good D&E team the last time you played, and now you get an opportunity on your own home field to take on a team and get a victory against a very, very good conference opponent?
Yeah, the mindset's been really good. People aren't shying away from the challenge, especially on our pitch. It's maximum dimension pitch ours. It's 120 by 75. Very big field. Allows us to play our possession-based, expansive football. It allows us to play that very easily. So people are looking forward to having them come to us this time around and play them on our field, which suits our style of game a lot better than theirs, which is a bit of a smaller field. So yeah, the mindset's been good. People are excited for it.
I got to believe there's a ton of belief in this team, knowing that, not that I want to dwell on the past too much, but this team beat a top 10 team in the nation earlier this year, knowing that you can beat these top-tier clubs. I got to think the confidence is almost sky high at this point.
Yeah, I think we've had a couple of really good performances this season. The 4-0 against Wesleyan, where we dominated the game. The 1-0 against Concord, who were number 10, where we absolutely dominated the game as well. And even this loss against Point Park, we recognised that even though we lost, we still dominated the game. So we have the ability to really get a foothold in these games against tougher oppositions. Even against Charleston, when we lost away 3-0, especially in the second half, we had so much more of a foothold in the game than, me ever as a player personally, more than I ever experienced as a player. So the confidence and belief is definitely there that we can go out and play well and establish a foothold in these sort of games and come away with a result, yeah.
So I'll go a little bit more personal with this one. We'll say personal. Came from overseas to come to West Liberty to play. Got to play with some kids that I'm sure were local-ish to West Liberty in this area, and now you're coaching some as well. Are there any differences or anything noticeably different between kids that you grew up playing with and the kids that you got to play with once you got to West Liberty and kind of local to this area?
There's definitely similarities and differences. A lot of the kids that I grew up playing with ended up going professional, as the professional scene in Europe is a lot bigger. Mm-hmm. Kids that I went to school with ended up playing in Scotland, Germany. A couple of friends that I actually played with ended up coming to the States as well, going to Division 1s like Missouri State and Elon. But then when you come over, a bit naively maybe, I thought when I came in as a freshman, I thought, that stereotypical Americans aren't that good at soccer. This is going to be a walk in the park. And then you quickly get here and you realise that everyone on the pitch is just like you. Majority of the guys are international, played at those high levels back home in Europe, in South America, in Asia. And there is some good local talent. For example, Brody Wall on our team from Wheeling. I've known him since he was maybe 16 before he came to college, and it's been really, really interesting to see him grow as a player and now be his coach as well. So yeah, I think there's a lot of similarities and a lot of differences. Yeah.
It's always nice to see that with local kids in any sport coming here to West Liberty and have success. It was great seeing on the women's soccer side, having the Ohio Valley Night for youth soccer, girls soccer growing up. I've got some friends and other people that I know that their children all play soccer. So it's great that that's kind of happening here. Soccer is continuing to grow. It was big when I was a little kid. A lot of people played. I'm 40 years old now, so that was quite some time ago, but a lot of people played soccer growing up. It's even continuing to grow to this day. There's still a lot of kids that grow up and play soccer for 3, 4, 5 years as a youth just to get out there and do something. So I believe it is becoming more popular here in the States, and hopefully it will continue so. Coach, thank you so much for being here with us. You did a great job for your first coach's show.
Thank you.
I can see, at least speaking-wise, you've got head coaching potential in your future, no doubt in my mind. Again, the Toppers take on Davis and Elkins tomorrow night. That's Wednesday, tomorrow night at 5 p.m. at the West Family Athletic Complex. Get up here to support the Toppers. Take on Davis and Elkins. We'll see what they can do. Again, thank you for being with us. Folks, thank you at home for watching. This will be the end of another episode of Inside Hilltopper Athletics, brought to you by Day and Night Heating and Cooling. For Coach Rycroft, I am Todd Allum. Thanks to Teresa Gretchen for helping us out. We will see you next week.
From the long-lasting and reliable heating and cooling systems we send out the door, to the friendly and knowledgeable dealers who go the extra mile. With a no-hassle replacement limited warranty, you can trust Day and Night to deliver outstanding service and performance, keeping you a step ahead with advanced technology and exceptional comfort. To find a Day and Night dealer, visit dayandnightcomfort.com.